We are live on Facebook. Welcome, friends, to the Seeds Storyteller Series. Today, here with my dear sister Miriam. We're so glad to be with y'all, whether you're catching us live or on the replay. Miriam and I had a conversation after our Denver Seeds Storyteller Series on Monday, and she told me a story that I was so moved by. I woke up the next morning and I was like, wow, I want y'all to hear this story. So I asked her to come to my house. I'm lucky enough to live in the neighborhood with her. So I asked her to come to my house and share the story with you guys. And in full disclosure, just yesterday, like after we'd already planned on this conversation, the focus is about the power of love, the power of each of us to make a difference in the lives of strangers or in people we know and love, and how that can be a life and death sort of a blessing sometimes. And just yesterday, one of her son's dear friends committed suicide and passed away. And we talked about if we still wanted to have this conversation today, and thought even more so. So this conversation is about making a difference. It is about sharing love, but it's not in an airy-fairy way. It is in a, like, this stuff matters in a big way. Yes?
I agree.
So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
For being here.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, and because we know some of y'all are nervous, hearts racing for whatever reason, maybe you're running late and you're catching us in the car, or on an errand, or just at the end of a long day. We always like to start our Seeds Storyteller Series with a place of pause and a moment to catch our breath. So for this, I'm going to read a little excerpt from A Place of Pause from one of my books, Soulfully Ablaze. And these places of pause I wrote into my books because I need them like air to get through. And so wherever you are, we hope that this place of pause encourages you and speaks to your heart and gives you what you most need right now. And then at the end, when I read this very, very short reading, Miriam's going to share kind of a way she likes to meditate and bring breath and divine presence, wisdom to her life. Okay? So at the end of this, you can share your piece. So our places of pause always start with being still and surrendering. So I invite you to take whatever is hard, whatever burdens or worries you carry, whatever thoughts are fluttering, and exhale, big. Imagine that you're breathing them out and away, that you're inhaling peace, softness, soul care, and tender love. So with that, will you share with us your...
Yes. So my place of peace comes from my mom and part of her culture being Japanese, and it is actually the dragonfly. Dragonflies represent for them your ancestors coming back to visit with a message for you. And in my place of peace, the dragonfly brings a lot of comfort in bringing my mother, my father, even my husband back. And also, so I close my eyes and I see the dragonfly flying over a pond, or even when I'm watching my son play lacrosse and I see that dragonfly, I know it's his father or grandfather coming back. But watching the translucence of their wings and the colors that come off of it, even in some of periods in my life where it's really dark. So I like to just close my eyes and watch them fly around. And I also like the fact that dragonflies fly backwards sometimes.
Hmm.
And when they do that, it's a reminder to me that even a step backwards, I still get to go forward at some point. So I hope in dragonflies and knowing what I believe they are will give you comfort and maybe even a happy place. I spend a lot of time talking to them.
That's cool. So, welcome, y'all, whoever is joining us on this Facebook Live Seeds Storyteller Series with my sister Miriam. And the Seeds Storyteller Series is all about having conversations with people that I know and love and respect, and whose voices have impacted me, whose lives have impacted me. And I believe it's something to share with y'all, because we believe in this community that we find our stories, we find our next ways to make a difference, our next steps, the encouragement, the inspiration we need, oftentimes in conversation and in life lived and brushing up against each other. I love you. So Miriam is going to share a story that she told me on Monday night as we were wrapping up our Seeds of Exchange event. And it's a simple story about a beautiful moment she shared with her son. So bring us in and tell us.
I have a 15-year-old son, and this was a few years ago, but being a teenager is hard.
Yeah.
Actually, being a person is hard.
Yeah.
And he was sitting in the car and he said to me, "Mom, I don't feel like my life matters." And I think a lot of us feel that way.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the car and just being so sad that he didn't see what I saw. And I gave him a challenge. I said, "If you will trust me, I will prove to you that your life matters." And in doing that, what we did was I went back into the store and I bought several bouquets of flowers, just random flowers. And I handed them to him in the car and I said, "Okay, I'm going to drive. You're going to tell me where I drive. And you are going to tell me when to stop. And the only thing that you have to do is take a flower, give it to a person, and tell them one true thing." So we pull out of the parking lot and he says, "Go to the gas station." I go to the gas station. He stops, takes a flower, finds a lady who's fueling her car, and he gives her a flower. And he says something to her, and she smiles and comes to the car and she says, "Can I take a picture of your son? Can I give him a hug?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "I am a school teacher and I was considering quitting my job because I was having such a bad day."
Mm.
And then she proceeded to say that I'm going to hang on because I'm going to hope that all of my kids will give back and make the world brighter like your son did. And for me, that was just a moment to change a life. And I asked him, I said, what did you say to her? And he said, "I just told her I was glad she was here."
Huh.
And for the next probably 30 to 40 minutes, we drove around Denver giving flowers to people. He gave a flower to a lady whose car had stalled on the side of the road. He approached a guy who, on the outside, looked like the big bad biker dude. And when this guy sees this kid give him a flower, and there's a smile on his face, and he's like stuffing it in his leather jacket and zipping it up to take this flower home. It's a reminder that what you see isn't what is. And the last flower he gave out was to a little old lady he'd seen in the park. And it turned out that she was 86 years old. And she told him, "This is the first time in my life that someone's ever given me a flower." And she smiled and walked off with her and her little doggie. And I told Riley, I said, do you think your life matters? You made a lot of people smile today. He goes, well, I thought I had to do something big. And for each of those people, it was something big. Just that act of humanity, kindness and love, and we forget just how powerful we are. It doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be. Realize it, I guess, is what I mean.
Yep.
And so I hope that everybody will take away that there's a gift in all of us.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little scary.
Yeah.
It's a little scary to go, would you like this flower?
Yeah.
But when they take it and you get to share with somebody, it reminds you the humanity in all of us. So, yeah. I'm trying not to cry.
I have a box of tissues just in case. Just in case. So for those of y'all joining, this is the Seeds Storyteller Series, and this is my dear sister Miriam. And this series of conversations is all about very simple stories with people that I know and love, that I believe are change makers, that I believe are making a difference, using their gifts, using their vocations as a mom, which is what we're talking about in this current moment, to impact, to bring beauty, to bring love, to bring connection, to make the world a bit brighter. So for those of you just joining, welcome. Our invitation is always about looping back to you and to your story, and what have you heard? What are you hearing? What are you feeling that is inspiring you, that is connecting with your life right here and now? And one of the things I love about Miriam is this steady thread and this steady theme of commitment and a message around every person matters.
Yeah, and it's true. I think sometimes we forget that, and especially looking at this child who forgot how important he was and is. I think that goes back to the dragonflies, that I hope this spring that I will see him and hear from him. But everyone matters, and I hope and we'll show kindness to each other. And most of all, just love to each other.
So my request and my invitation for y'all is to consider, take a moment, we call it the 2 C's, to contemplate and to commit. What, as you contemplate this story of a simple 2 bouquets of flowers, driving around the city, and with Miriam's beautiful 15-year-old giant of a boy.
Yes.
Just following his heart and where he wanted to take them. That took some courage, and it took some time, but it was also a very simple. How much did the bouquet of flowers cost? Like a couple bucks.
Yeah, it's probably like $6 or $7.
Right.
In all honesty.
So that's our thing. Like we talk about in our community of Seeds of Exchange, this idea of everyday philanthropy, meaning that a philanthropist is not always a millionaire or a billionaire. A philanthropist is someone with $6 to buy some flowers and take the treasure of time and drive around the city, have some conversations, share some love.
Exactly. The philanthropy is really just giving to someone else.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have money for that.
Right.
The smile, a kind word.
Right.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. Yeah. So before we wrap up, if there's something that's piqued your attention, we call these moments of inspired action, where you can contemplate and commit to one thing that you want to do different or be different or think different because of Miriam's story. We'd love for you to share it in the comments. We'd love for you to share it with a live human being in your life as you head out or stay in on your Friday night. because this virtual thing is cool, but like sitting next to someone is really cool. So, and we always want to say, for those of you that joined in a little late, Miriam's family has a dear friend that experienced a major tragedy and their son died yesterday. And so we want to say that for anyone who's experiencing tragedy and gut-wrenching hurt or pain, please do private message me your prayer request, your need for some juju, and with your permission, I'll share it with my soul sister Miriam, and we will hold you close, because don't go it alone if things are really hard. And if not with us, please share with someone real, a real person that you might be with tonight. So before we wrap up, last burning Miriam word, what would that be?
Well, it's 2 words.
Well,
it's a divine being, but no, my last is that in each of us is really a divine being, a divine spirit. And if you're feeling sad or you're feeling angry or anxious or happy, those are all emotions that they're wonderful, and you have divine power within yourself to make it through, even if you don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know that, understand that there are others around you who will help you. Nothing is permanent, and that you're loved.
Yeah.
Don't forget that part. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
You're loved.
Yeah. We're going to end with that. I normally end with that, but Miriam just said it. So we love you guys. Blessings on your evening for those of you in our time zone. Morning for those of you halfway around the world. Let's stay connected and remember that we're loved, and remind each other that we and you are loved. So love you guys. Love you.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.